experiential intelligence? So what do you mean by experiential intelligence? It basically means using your past experiences to solve novel problems. Okay? What does it mean? It means using your past experiences Okay. So what are you doing over here? You're using your past experiences, whatever you have experienced in the past, and you are trying to solve novel problems using those past experiences. Okay? Obviously, people who are high on this intelligence will also represent creative intelligence, right? Because they are coming up with novel solutions. Novel solution means they're coming up with newer solutions to the problem, right? Okay. So, people who are high on this are definitely going to be high on what? Are definitely going to be high on creativity. Fine. So what they do is they integrate different types of experiences and integrate it together to make a discovery. All right. तो I think इसका बहुत अच्छा example हम ले सकते हैं. Let's take an example over here. I'll take two examples. We'll take example of Zepto, Blinkit, etc. I'm sure you use it. Fine. We can also take example of Uber if you want. So, what did Uber do? Let's take an example. So, Uber had taken experience, right? And they have turned it into something very beautiful. Okay, let me explain. So, initially, I don't know how many of you have experienced this, but I'm sure आपके parents बताते होंगे आपको, या मैं भी आपको बताती हूँ. So, basically, so when we were growing up, like when we were in college, there was metro that was there. But there was no Ola or there was no Uber, there was no Uber Auto, there was no Moto also, right? So, traveling somewhere with an auto was a big hassle. Why? Because then you would have to haggle with the auto wala, and he will always, like quote you extra high prices, 150, 200 for a short distance, because, he knows that you're not going to get an auto. Okay. So finding an auto was very difficult. Traveling long distances, sometimes in the metro can be difficult, right? So like the founder of Uber, the founder of Ola saw all of these things. They've experienced all of these things, right? And they wanted to make life easy. Okay. So through their experiences of the past, they have experienced similar things. They have not been able to travel well, or they have not been able to do well. They have not been able to, travel a lot. Okay. They have not been able, the metro can sometimes be a big hassle. Sometimes you want to travel with a cab, but it's very expensive. So what did they do? They came up with Uber. They came up with Ola. What do you do in that? You put in your location, right? The driver will pick up the ride. That means they want to come. The fare is already decided, so there's no haggle, there's no chick. Fine. You reach and then you pay through what? You pay through your Paytm wallet, all right? Or you pay through your account, okay? There's no hassle for cash also. कि छुट्टा नहीं है, 10 रुपया दे दो, give me 10 rupees, give me 20 rupees. नहीं, इतना तो नहीं है. Then you have to leave the change, which means you're spending more. So all of these experiences were taken into account and created wondrous things like what? Like Ola, Uber. Let's take an example of Zepto. I think it's a wonderful thing, guys. I mean, especially for working people like us. We reach home by 8 or 9 at night, right? It's very difficult to get things done. It's very difficult to remember to pick up grocery and then go home. Sometimes you forget, sometimes you're too tired. So what do? You just go home, you add your stuff, and then it is delivered right at your doorstep, right? So they have taken into account the experiences of others and obviously for themselves as well, and they have come up with what? They have come up with novel solutions to this problem. ठीक है?
अब एग्जाम की तैयारी